There's a quiet power that lives in the early morning hours. Before the world wakes up, there is stillness. In this space, you can meet your true self. Before distractions, before duties, there is an opportunity, a sacred window. This is where your potential waits, silently hoping you'll notice it. Let us explore 10 simple yet powerful teachings rooted in spiritual wisdom that you can practice every day before 6 a.m. to transform your life. Lesson 1. Master one micro skill. The early hours before 6 a.m. offer a sacred opportunity to cultivate mastery in small, meaningful ways. Ancient wisdom teaches us that true transformation happens not through ambitious leaps, but through consistent, mindful practice of small actions. Each morning presents us with uninterrupted time to focus on one micro skill, whether it's maintaining perfect posture during meditation, mastering a single verse, or refining one movement in your morning exercise. This approach embodies the principle of small actions, great results, that sages have taught for centuries. When you dedicate even 15 minutes to deliberately practicing one small element of a larger skill, you create neural pathways that form the foundation of true mastery. This concentrated focus prevents the scattered energy that often characterizes our busy days. Consider the archer who does not aim to master archery all at once, but instead focuses on perfecting their stance for many mornings before moving to their grip, then their aim. This patient, incremental approach leads to profound skill development. The key is to approach this practice with what the ancients called beginner's mind, free from expectations or self-judgment. Notice how different this feels from the rushed, results-oriented approach we often take during our regular day. In these peaceful morning moments, you're not performing for others or seeking external validation. You're simply building your own capacity in alignment with ancient principles of gradual cultivation. This practice teaches us that true growth comes not from sporadic, intense efforts, but from patient, consistent attention. As you master one micro skill each morning, you're not just building competence, you're cultivating the invaluable quality of focused presence that transforms everything you do. Ancient teachers knew this secret. Mastery begins with humble, consistent steps taken at the most receptive time of day. Lesson 2. Do a deep work sprint. The stillness before dawn creates an ideal environment for what ancient practitioners called single-pointed concentration, what we might now call deep work. In these early hours, the world remains quiet, and your mind hasn't yet been pulled in countless directions. This is the perfect time to engage in a focused sprint of meaningful work. The ancient practice of rising before the sun wasn't merely about discipline. It was a profound understanding that our mental clarity peaks during these hours. When you dedicate even 30 minutes to deep focused work before 6 a.m., you tap into the same mental state that allowed ancient scholars to produce remarkable insights with limited resources. This practice involves selecting one important task that requires your complete attention, perhaps writing, studying, planning, or creative thinking, and engaging with it wholeheartedly, without distractions. Notice how different your mind feels in these early hours. The mental chatter that normally fills your consciousness hasn't yet gathered momentum. Ancient teachings describe this as the time when the veil between conscious and unconscious thought is thinnest, allowing for deeper insights to emerge naturally. This explains why so many practitioners throughout history rose before dawn to do their most important thinking work. During your morning deep work sprint, practice full presence with your chosen task. When the mind wanders, gently bring it back. Just as ancient meditation instructions teach, this is not about forcing productivity, but about aligning your most important work with your mind's natural rhythms. The insight here is profound. By working with your natural mental cycles rather than against them, you accomplish more with less strain. Many who adopt this practice report that their 30-minute morning sprint often produces better results than hours of distracted work later in the day. This approach honors the wisdom that quality of attention matters more than quantity of time, a principle that ancient practitioners understood deeply. Lesson 3. Journal as your future self. The practice of morning journaling takes on profound significance when approached from the perspective of ancient wisdom traditions. Before 6 a.m., when your analytical mind hasn't yet fully awakened, there exists a special opportunity to access deeper wisdom through writing. The particular technique of journaling as your future self, your wisest, most evolved self, connects you with what ancient traditions might call your higher nature or true potential. This isn't mere pretending, but rather accessing parts of your consciousness that already exist within you. Begin by sitting in silence for a few moments, connecting with your breath. Then, with pen in hand, allow yourself to write from the perspective of the person you are capable of becoming. Someone who has overcome current challenges, developed profound understanding, and lives aligned with their deepest values. This practice bypasses the critical, limited thinking of your everyday mind and accesses what ancient teachings describe as your inherent wisdom nature. As you write, notice how differently you perceive current challenges when viewing them from this expanded perspective. Problems that seemed insurmountable become stepping stones. Attachments that caused suffering loosen their grip. This morning ritual helps integrate the ancient understanding that our essential nature is already complete and wise. We need only clear away the obscurations that hide this truth from us. Regular practice of this form of journaling gradually trains your everyday mind to align with your higher wisdom, rather than being trapped in patterns of reactivity or limitation. The early morning hours are particularly conducive to this practice because your consciousness hasn't yet become entangled with daily concerns and social masks. In this receptive state, insights often emerge that wouldn't be accessible during your busy day. Many practitioners find that solutions to problems, creative ideas, and meaningful direction arise spontaneously through this practice. By making this a regular part of your pre-6 a.m. routine, you cultivate the ancient virtue of self-awareness, while creating an internal guide for navigating life's complexities. Lesson 4. Prime one sense. Intentionally ancient wisdom traditions have long recognized that our senses are powerful gateways to consciousness. They can either scatter our attention or become tools for awakening. The practice of intentionally priming one sense before 6 a.m. allows you to transform ordinary perception into a path of awareness and appreciation. This simple yet profound practice involves selecting just one sense: sight, hearing, smell, taste, or touch, and engaging with it fully and mindfully for a few minutes. For example, you might step outside to watch the gradual lightening of the pre-dawn sky, paying exquisite attention to the subtle color changes moment by moment. Or perhaps you'll sit with a cup of tea, experiencing every nuance of taste and temperature as it crosses your palate. The key is bringing complete, unhurried attention to this single sensory experience. This practice embodies the ancient teaching that enlightenment is not found in extraordinary experiences, but in perceiving ordinary reality with extraordinary awareness. By training yourself to fully receive sensory experience without immediate judgment or categorization, you're practicing what the ancients called bare attention, the foundation of mindfulness. Notice how this simple act of priming one sense helps anchor you in the present moment, creating a reference point of awareness that can carry through your entire day. This morning ritual serves as a powerful antidote to the sensory overload that characterizes modern life, where we constantly process multiple streams of information without fully experiencing any of them. Ancient practitioners understood that our senses, when engaged mindfully, become doorways to deeper presence rather than sources of distraction. They teach us that the problem isn't in what we perceive, but in how we perceive it. Through this pre-dawn sensory practice, you gradually retrain your nervous system to receive experience more fully and with greater appreciation. Many find that this simple practice transforms not just their morning, but their entire relationship with the world around them. Lesson 5. Triage 2-minute tasks. The ancient practice of mindful preparation takes modern form in the pre-dawn ritual of addressing 2-minute tasks. This seemingly simple practice embodies the profound wisdom that how we organize our external environment directly impacts our internal state. Rising before 6 a.m. provides a perfect opportunity to mindfully clear small obstacles from your path before the day begins in earnest. The approach is straightforward. Identify and complete any tasks that require less than 2 minutes of your time, responding to a simple message, signing a document, preparing items you'll need later, or putting something in its proper place. This practice connects to the ancient understanding that outer order contributes to inner calm. By addressing these small matters deliberately during your morning hours, you prevent them from accumulating into what ancient teachings might call obstacles to clarity. Notice how different this feels from frantically rushing through tasks. In the quiet of early morning, each small action becomes an opportunity for mindful engagement, rather than a burden to be hurried through. This approach transforms mundane activities into what some traditions call mindfulness in action, the practice of bringing full presence to ordinary tasks. Beyond the practical benefits of preventing accumulation of undone tasks, this morning ritual cultivates the essential quality of thoroughness in small matters. Ancient wisdom suggests that how we do anything is how we do everything. By attending carefully to small tasks, we develop habits of attention that serve us in more significant endeavors. Many practitioners find that this simple practice of morning triage creates a tangible sense of spaciousness in their day. By removing small sources of friction before they can generate stress, you honor the teaching that prevention of difficulty is wiser than later remediation. This approach doesn't just clear your external to-do list, it clears mental space for what truly matters, embodying the ancient virtue of simplicity in daily life. Lesson 6. Connect with nature. Briefly, ancient wisdom across traditions emphasizes humanity's fundamental connection with the natural world, a connection often forgotten in our modern indoor lives. The pre-dawn hours offer a special opportunity to renew this essential relationship through brief but meaningful communion with nature. Before 6 a.m., the natural world exists in a state of transition that ancient teachings recognize as particularly conducive to contemplation and insight. This practice requires nothing elaborate. Simply step outside, even for just 5 minutes, and engage mindfully with whatever natural elements are accessible to you. Feel the morning air against your skin, listen to awakening birds, observe the gradually changing light, or simply look up at the vast sky. The quality of your attention matters more than the duration or setting. This brief communion with nature before beginning your day embodies the ancient understanding that humans are not separate from the natural world, but integral parts of it. By aligning your awareness with natural rhythms during these threshold morning moments, you re-establish what ancients might call right relationship with the greater web of life. Many practitioners report that this simple practice helps dissolve the artificial boundaries between self and world that contribute to modern feelings of isolation. Notice how different your body feels in natural settings compared to manufactured environments. Ancient wisdom teaches that nature provides a mirror for our true condition. Both its constant change and underlying continuity reflect our own experience. Regular practice of this morning connection gradually attunes your nervous system to natural rhythms, counteracting the artificial pacing of modern life. The pre-dawn hours hold special significance in many traditions, precisely because they represent the beautiful transition between darkness and light, a daily reminder of impermanence and renewal. By making this brief communion with nature part of your pre-6 a.m. routine, you honor ancient teachings about humanity, is place within the natural order, while creating a foundation of groundedness for your day. Lesson 7. Practice intentional inaction. In a world that celebrates constant activity, the wisdom of intentional non-doing represents a profound countercultural practice. The early morning hours before 6 a.m. offer a perfect opportunity to engage in what ancient traditions might call the practice of presence, simply being without doing anything in particular. This isn't about laziness or passive waiting, but rather a deliberate cultivation of receptive awareness. The practice involves setting aside even 5 minutes to sit in complete stillness, not formally meditating, not planning your day, not consuming information, just allowing yourself to be fully present with whatever arises in your experience. Ancient wisdom recognizes that our true nature is often obscured by constant doing, thinking, and striving. This morning practice of intentional inaction creates space for insight to arise naturally, without forcing. It embodies the teaching that wisdom often emerges not from accumulating more information, but from allowing our inherent knowing to surface in the absence of noise. Notice how different this feels from both sleep and active engagement. In this state of alert receptivity, you may observe thoughts and sensations arising and passing, without becoming entangled with them. Many practitioners report that solutions to problems, creative insights, or deeper understanding often emerge spontaneously during these periods of intentional non-doing. This practice counters our cultural conditioning that values productivity above presence and doing above being. It honors the ancient understanding that human beings are not merely human doings. Our value doesn't come solely from what we produce or achieve. By including this practice of intentional inaction in your pre-dawn routine, you cultivate what some traditions call beginner's mind, an approach to life characterized by openness and possibility rather than fixed views and habitual reactions. The spaciousness created through this simple practice often expands to influence your entire day, creating small gaps of awareness between activities where wisdom can continue to emerge naturally. Lesson 8. Spark 1. Creative idea. The pre-dawn hours have been recognized across ancient traditions as especially conducive to creative insight. Before 6 a.m., the analytical mind hasn't yet fully engaged with practical concerns, creating an opening where intuitive wisdom can arise more freely. The practice of intentionally sparking one creative idea during this time honors this understanding while building your capacity for original thinking. This isn't about forcing creativity, but creating conditions where it naturally emerges. Begin by sitting quietly for a few moments, then gently direct your attention toward a question, challenge, or area where fresh thinking would be valuable. Rather than actively searching for answers, maintain a state of receptive curiosity, what ancient teachings might describe as attentive openness. Allow ideas to bubble up without immediately judging or developing them. Simply note what arises. This practice embodies the ancient wisdom that creativity doesn't come primarily from effortful thinking, but from accessing deeper levels of consciousness. Many traditions use the metaphor of drawing water from a well. We don't create the water, we simply provide a channel for it to emerge. By engaging in this practice consistently before 6 a.m., you gradually deepen your access to this creative wellspring. Notice how different the ideas that emerge during these quiet morning moments are from those that come during busy daytime thinking. They often have a quality of unexpected connection or fresh perspective that characterizes true creativity. Ancient wisdom teaches that our ordinary thinking mind, while valuable for many tasks, often operates in habitual patterns that limit innovation. This morning practice helps you access what some traditions might call big mind or expanded awareness. Many great artists, writers, and innovators throughout history have testified to the power of these early morning hours for creative insight. By making this a regular part of your pre-dawn routine, you honor the teaching that creativity is not a special gift for a few, but a natural capacity we all possess that can be cultivated through appropriate practice. Lesson 9. Review key knowledge briefly. Ancient wisdom traditions have always valued the practice of review and contemplation, not merely accumulating information, but truly integrating it through regular reflection. The quiet morning hours before 6 a.m. provide an ideal opportunity to briefly revisit essential knowledge that matters most to you. This practice involves selecting one key idea, teaching, or principle that you consider valuable, and spending a few minutes re-engaging with it mindfully. This might be a concept you're learning, a quote that inspires you, a principle you aspire to embody, or any knowledge you wish to integrate more deeply. The approach differs significantly from ordinary studying. Rather than trying to memorize or analyze, allow yourself to sit with this knowledge as if hearing it for the first time. Notice what new dimensions or applications reveal themselves in the receptive state of early morning consciousness. This practice honors the ancient understanding that wisdom comes not just from exposure to teachings, but from contemplating them repeatedly with fresh attention. Many traditions use the metaphor of digestion. Just as our bodies need time to transform food into nourishment, our minds need time to transform information into understanding. By making this brief knowledge review part of your pre-dawn routine, you engage with what ancient practitioners might call heart-mind learning, an approach that integrates intellectual understanding with intuitive wisdom. Notice how concepts you've encountered many times before may suddenly reveal new depths or applications when revisited in this contemplative morning space. This practice serves as a powerful antidote to the modern tendency toward information overload without integration. Rather than constantly seeking new knowledge, you create value by deepening your relationship with what you already know. Over time, practitioners find that this simple morning ritual transforms their relationship with learning, moving from collection of facts to embodiment of principles. This approach honors the ancient teaching that true knowledge is not measured by quantity of information, but by the depth of its integration into one's being. Lesson 10. Audit your energy levels. The ancient understanding that we are not just physical beings, but complex energy systems, takes practical form in the pre-dawn practice of energy auditing. Before 6 a.m., before the world makes its demands upon you, take a few moments to mindfully scan your body, emotions, and mind to assess your vital energy. This isn't an abstract exercise, but a practical check-in with your actual condition at the start of each day. Begin by sitting quietly and bringing awareness to your physical sensations, noticing areas of tension, vitality, heaviness, or lightness. Then observe your emotional landscape and mental clarity without judgment. This simple practice connects with the ancient teaching that self-knowledge forms the foundation for wise action. By honestly assessing your energy levels each morning, you gather essential information that allows you to approach your day with appropriate expectations and care. This embodied awareness counteracts the modern tendency to override our natural rhythms with caffeine, willpower, or external pressures. Notice how this morning energy audit helps you recognize patterns over time. Perhaps certain activities, foods, or relationships consistently affect your vitality in specific ways. This growing self-knowledge allows you to make adjustments that ancient wisdom might call preventative medicine for the spirit. Many find that this practice gradually cultivates a deeper respect for their own natural cycles and limitations. Rather than pushing through exhaustion or wasting peak energy periods, you learn to align activities with your actual capacity, embodying the ancient virtue of harmony between intention and ability. This morning ritual also develops honest self-assessment, the capacity to see yourself clearly without self-criticism or denial. Ancient teachings suggest that this kind of truthful self-seeing is essential for genuine growth. By making this energy audit part of your pre-6 a.m. routine, you honor the timeless wisdom that sustainable living requires attending mindfully to your own condition, rather than constantly responding to external demands.